Hello, I'm Ross Constable. Welcome to the latest part of my Test It, Trust It series. Now, from time to time, we can all get a bit sloppy. For example, at home, we might leave our shoelaces untied if we're nipping out to the dustbin, or we might grab the nearest baggy jumper to do the school run. But what happens if we don't fit things correctly when it comes to PPE? In this episode, I'll be talking about the comfort of PPE and how to avoid compromising the safety of staff wearing it. PPE is designed in a way that considers its intended use. This is not just the industries or environments in which it can be used, but also how it should be worn. It may seem obvious, but if PPE is not being worn correctly, it can severely or even completely negate the ability of the PPE to perform as intended. Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, we'll all have seen people walking around with a face mask that isn't fitted correctly. I've seen them being worn as scarves or where the nose is poking over the top. It hardly comes as a surprise then that this sort of thing happens within the industry of PPE. There's lots of examples of improper use of PPE, and these should be avoided to ensure that it's doing its job correctly. I'll go through a few of the common ones here. As already touched upon, not wearing or fitting face masks properly is a widespread problem in industry. This includes wearing disposable respirators on an unshaven face, which won't achieve an effective seal. In this instance, a powered respirator with a full face shield is a more appropriate solution. To assess the effectiveness of PPE within your workforce, you should conduct face fit testing. Not wearing or incorrectly specifying the attenuation levels for ear protection is another common issue. Check out some of my previous Test It, Trust It videos for more information on this one. For high visibility garments, not properly fastening them can cause a hazard. These are designed to have a minimum amount of fluorescent fabric, and wearing them open reduces the amount of fabric on show and therefore impacts the likelihood of being seen. The same applies to clothing that protects against heat and chemicals. If a garment is not fully fastened or if users are rolling up their sleeves, it's obviously going to reduce the ability of the PPE to protect. Lastly, not tying shoelaces or even tying them too loosely can cause hazards to trips, slips and falls, and tying them too tight can lead to comfort issues and the ability to remove the footwear quickly in an emergency. All of these things either directly affect the levels of protection offered or, through user discomfort, can lead to the PPE not being worn correctly or at all. Therefore, it's important to remain vigilant and not be afraid to challenge others if these behaviours are spotted in your workplace. Worker trials can be a good way of determining how a workforce will respond to a new issue of PPE and to manage its uptake once implemented. I hope this has been informative for you, and please watch out for my next Test It, Trust It post coming soon.